Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. And in today's video, I want to talk to you about becoming a confident and secure woman. A confident and secure woman. But before we do that, and this tea is way too hot to drink right now, so we're just going to let it sit. Let's continue. So, becoming a more secure and confident woman. First of all, it is possible. And I take my clients through this journey in Boss to Goddess. And so, of course, I can't give everything away. That wouldn't be fair to them. But I can say that becoming more secure. Something I would love everyone to understand is that when it comes to your self love and your self worth, the way that you treat yourself, the relationship that you have with yourself as a woman, you need to get so real and honest with yourself. So real and honest with yourself that it is your responsibility to love yourself. It is your responsibility to love yourself as a woman. Let me make sure this microphone is on. Just a second. Okay. I did that the other day where I filmed an entire video without the microphone on. So needed to double check. When I say you are responsibility, or sorry, you are responsible for loving yourself, what I mean is that you need to treat yourself like a plant or like a bird. Okay. Every day, the birds wake up, and it's not a question of, do I love myself enough today to go and get worms? Do I love myself enough today to go and get materials for my nest? Do I love myself today to go and do I love myself enough today to go and get water? The birds are never asking themselves this question. The plants are never asking themselves, do I love myself enough today to grow towards the sun? Do I love myself enough today to bloom? Do I love myself enough today to do what I need to do to take care of myself? This is why my feminine energy teachings are based in nature. A confident, secure, feminine goddess honors the rhythms of nature, not the rhythms of society, especially the man made rhythms that we are all kind of wrapped up in today. One of the reasons you have a disconnect in the relationship that you have with yourself is because of this very inorganic system that we're living in. So I want you to give yourself some grace. You have been trying to take care of yourself in a system that really makes it difficult for you to do so, right? First, it was in school. You're in school from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m., and then you have homework. After that, there's a lot of work being done. Then, when you start working, it's the same thing. You're working 40 hours a week, sometimes more, sometimes with a commute, oftentimes being underpaid, overworked. You're trying to balance all of these things, trying to take care of yourself, but there's not really much time and energy to do so. I mean, we have to admit that you are just living in an inorganic system. It's not designed for us to thrive in the healthiest way. It's not. Okay. Especially those of you listening from the US. I know I have international students. I had one from Sweden the other day. I have had students in Scotland, the UAE, all over the place. And I'm so glad that you're here. But I know 100% that those of us in the United States, like, let's just call it what it is. Maybe it's not so much you, maybe it's the environment. So you can't get caught up in the environment and the standards that are created for machines or people, who neglect themselves. That's just what it is. So once you recognize it, it's easier to detach from it. And then when you detach from it and you start to honor the rhythms of nature more, and you go back into nature and you're spending more time out there and you're calming your nervous system down, and you're just understanding that as much as you're having a human experience and the human conscious experience, which is great, it's lovely. I'm here for it. But I don't get so wrapped up in what's in here that I forget that I'm having a biological experience. Okay? I studied biology. That was one of my loves, evolutionary biology and biology in general, the study of life. I was a science teacher. I don't know if some of you know this. We'll start talking more about my history and everything that I've done that's kind of led me to this point, but I actually was a science teacher for about a decade. And let me tell you that there is something to be said for honoring the biological part of you, and that when you honor the biological part of you, honestly, that can help you reconnect to your self nurturing and to your self love and to your self worth, because you are here, and now that you're here, you have a responsibility to take care of yourself, just as every other living thing has the responsibility and the instinct to do the same. Somewhere along the line, you have been conditioned out of your instinct to take care of yourself. And you've been conditioned out of your instinct to know how to do it because, again, the system that we're living in is very unnatural. This is not natural. It's not natural for us to commute in a car, go sit in a boxy building, and do thinking tasks all day long and barely move our bodies, get no fresh air, no sunlight, no healthy food. That we could talk about that. That's a whole, I could start a whole YouTube channel about that, right? The quality of food, especially in the United States. And so you are wondering why you don't feel good and why you feel like it's so difficult to know how to take care of yourself, and why you're losing that really strong sense of self. I'm sure there are things that happened in your childhood. That's par for the course. We've all had our own experiences, our own biographies, so there could have been something that happened in terms of the messaging that you received from your childhood, the way that your mother demonstrated how she cared for herself. But I need you to just take a bird's eye view and understand that you cannot rely on society's messaging about how to care for yourself. And that includes what trickled down through your family to you. Okay. I love my family. I love my family. I love my friends, but I can see that maybe all of the information that I would have desired didn't necessarily come through the way that I needed it to. And that's okay because each generation is going through its own programming and is trying to survive in a system that's not really set up for us to be healthy. So you just have to detach from it. You have to detach from it and you have to find that instinct again. Okay. Find that instinct of self preservation. You don't have another choice. And I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, actually a woman that I've been collaborating with, and we've been working together, and she and I both had the same perspective when it came to coaching and the work that we've done now. We have both tried it all of the other ways. I have done the insecure way. Okay. I've done the attacking myself way. I've done the chasing way. I've done the trying to prove myself. I've experimented with all the different options out there. And the only one that works is the one where you unapologetically love yourself. And so I decided to embrace that mindset and start choosing to behave that way before I even felt that way. That's the thing. You choose to go ahead and make those choices and treat yourself that way and speak that way before you actually feel it. Stop waiting to feel perfect before you start treating yourself like somebody who loves themselves and somebody who's secure. Because that's our main goal today is talking about becoming more secure. You don't have to feel secure to act secure. You don't. Let's have a little tea. Okay, good. It's the right temperature. You don't have to feel secure to go ahead and act secure and to speak in a way that is self-affirming and communicates security. So this is what I teach my clients. So if you wanted to come be a private client in the Boss to Goddess program, I would actually break down for you how to do this and customize it to whatever kind of limiting beliefs that you're experiencing, whatever blocks that you're having from being more secure. But there is a way to break it down and then start speaking and acting as the version of you that is secure. So that's essentially what you need to do. And you do that because on a very foundational level, I was thinking primal, instinctual, whatever it is, in the gut, you know that you have to. You know that you have to because the consequence of you not doing it, it's not an option for you anymore. That's where you have to get. You have to get so sick of experiencing the negative consequences of not being secure. Excuse me. I really don't want to edit this, so we'll just keep going. You have to be so sick of experiencing the consequences of not being secure that you are willing to go ahead on a gut level and say, I don't know what this is going to look like. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know what it's going to feel like, what the results are going to be, but I know that this is the direction I need to go in. Like the bird. Every day, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to take care of myself and I'm going to do what I need to do, whether I feel like it or not. Stop waiting for the perfect amount of motivation. If you're continuing to scroll, or type away long messages explaining to somebody why they hurt your feelings or whatever it is, I want you to put the phone down and I want you to go make yourself a cup of tea, take a shower, get dressed, go for a walk outside, and go do something productive and constructive that is taking you in the direction of becoming a more secure and healthy woman. You have to find that gut level response from within that is self preserving in an instinctual way that understands because I had to come to a very clear conclusion when I was younger because of what I went through. And I've talked about it on this channel. I've talked about it on the lives. If you're unfamiliar, I'm sure I'll talk about it again. But the consequences of me not loving myself became so severe that I had to flip the switch. I had to. I had to. I wasn't willing to accept the things that could potentially happen to me or that I would do to myself because of the lack of self love. I flipped the switch within and I decided to stop looking for the right motivation, the right inspiration to go ahead and get started. And I just told myself that I was going to make this change and that I had to take responsibility. Nobody else was going to come and do it for me. I don't see, and I said this to a client the other day, I don't see trees uprooting themselves to go and help another tree. That doesn't mean that things aren't living in symbiosis and living in a community and we should stop helping one another. But the thing is that if you go outside in nature, everything is taking care of itself first, and it's not considered selfish. It's just survival. So I think we have to reframe survival. Survival often gets a negative connotation and a bad rap, if you will, because people associate it with struggle and like, oh, I'm just surviving, I'm barely getting by. But you have basic daily needs that have to be met every single day: food, shelter, water, hygiene. Okay. If you don't know where to start on your self love journey, start with hygiene. That is an act of self love. That one will really help you. So, the more that you speak it and choose it, and then gently nurture it into existence, it's only a matter of time. And I want you to know that it is possible to become secure and that you deserve to feel secure and that it should be and it will become a non negotiable for you because you need to wake up every single day and you need to get the worms and you need to work on your little nest and you need to take care of yourself and stop feeling bad about it and stop feeling like, you know what I mean? You're disconnected in that way and you cannot find the motivation. You're here. There's no motivation. It's a real responsibility. It's like needing to take out the trash. I don't have to be motivated to take out the trash. It's going to start to smell. I don't want to experience the consequence of not taking out the trash. I don't want to experience the consequence of letting old food grow mold in the fridge, right? I don't want to experience the consequence of all of these maintenance type of activities, spatial care type of activities. I don't want to experience the consequence of not doing them. So you need to apply the same mindset to you. If you neglect yourself on any level, physical, mental, or physically, mentally, or spiritually, because those are our three main, energetic outputs, and also the way that we kind of recharge ourselves mentally, physically, spiritually. You could even say socially. If I don't do those daily chores that relate to my mental, spiritual, physical, I'm doing it out of order now, physical and social well-being, if I don't do those daily chores, then I'm going to end up with the same result as not taking the trash out, as leaving the food in the fridge. It's neglect. When we neglect ourselves, we don't feel secure. Some of you will have different journeys. Many of you will have different journeys. So your neglect could be physical, your neglect could be mental, it could be spiritual, it could be social, it could be whatever. That doesn't matter as much. I want you to hear the mindset shift. You are responsible for taking care of yourself. That means if you have a lot of internal stuff going on that's holding you back, you are responsible for healing it. And you have to understand and you have to play that tape out. What will happen if you don't? Are you willing to continue living your life as a woman who doesn't feel secure about herself? What are the consequences of that? Typically, you are underperforming or under earning, stuck in a career type of situation that isn't serving you. It definitely affects your relationships. The romantic relationships in particular, when you're not secure in yourself as a woman. So, do you want to continue experiencing those negative consequences, or are you going to take responsibility for yourself to become more secure, to become more confident? It's up to you. So, I do have a little guide that I highly recommend. This is one of the skills that I teach my clients. It's called Speaking Your Way to Confidence, Learning How to Watch Your Words. Get the guide. Let me know how it helps. Thank you so much for joining me. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel. Welcome to the new look, and I will see you in the next one.